So today I'm describing my thematic unit to y'all, just about what I'm doing and some things that I would include. So basically my thematic unit was all about community helpers. I did the whole thing based on community helpers, and just a little bit of background was, for example, my newsletter. This is my newsletter, if everybody can see it. And some basic information that I put in there for the parents to know. I said, for this week, we are going to be doing a unit on community helpers. My goals for your child are to learn more about the community helpers, what they do, the environments that they are in, and recognize helpers in our community when they see them or the symbols that relate to their jobs. This unit is important because your child will be able to learn about what helpers do to better our community, as well as they will develop social skills as well as cognitive development. We will be exploring community helpers through dramatic play, ELA, math activities, science, and creative experiences. And I also included in there that we would be taking a trip around our community to the fire department, to the post office, to the police department in Oconee County. The next thing that we obviously did was the webbing activity, and that's just where I talked about, like, what are we learning, what are my goals, what do I plan to achieve. And in this I also included some like song links in a poem called Community Helpers. I'll read it. It says, people in our community, they make things better for you and me. Keep us healthy, safe, and clean. Keep us healthy, safe, and clean. Coach us, feed us, teach us things that we will need to know one day. A big, big help in our community. I just added in stuff like that. And obviously the weekly plan that we all did, where I just basically included, you know, in the morning time we'd be learning about different community helpers. My 5, I chose one for every day: policeman, firefighter, nurse, construction worker, and mailman. I just did one every day, Monday through Friday. Each day we would learn about a different one. I included song links and books, and some of my books were Let's Meet a Police Officer, Let's Meet a Firefighter, Nurse, Clementine, and then On a Windy Day. Those were just some of the books that I included. I also included the links to those books you can find on YouTube, and all the materials that I listed in my weekly plan, and I have a few of them with me. I just said I would use those materials to promote fine motor skills and cognitive development that goes along with the thematic unit of community helpers. I said throughout my songs, story times, and dramatic play, I use multicultural items, which I have, to promote positive play throughout every item I chose, as well as in the activities. Through the changes to environment, I just put specifically what I would put in each play station, which I also have some of those items that I will show you here in just a moment. Let's see what else we did. And throughout the changes to environment, I also included why I chose some of those items. Example for the block center, I said the block center can be used for so many things, but to me this is a time for playing and learning. I said I would probably set up situations. For an example, a building that has a fire and needs to figure out how and what to use to put it out. And that is a perspective where teamwork, I feel, is included. And I also have a lesson plan, which I did not make, but I will describe really quickly. And it was basically just about community helpers and clip cards. It was a math activity where there would be so many nurses on a card, and they would use clips to clip them on to the card. And so if we had 5 nurses, for example, on a card, we would try to put 5 clips to match the number of nurses. And for extra support, and I said if I notice a child struggling with this game, or so in a small group, I would set aside time to do the helper game one-on-one to see if that builds their confidence just by doing it with me, then when they're with their peers, and then with the extra time working on numbers 1 through 10, I thought this would also be a time where it'd be a small group activity, but I could step back and really see, okay, so-and-so, we need to spend a little bit more time on numbers 1 through 10, and then, oh, some of these can move up to numbers 1 through 15 or 1 through 20. So that's the logistic of my community helpers plan. It's way more in depth, obviously, but I did not read all of that. But I will show you some materials that I brought. So this was one game that I actually made for my dramatic play kit, and it's called Put Out the Flames, and it's literally just a box, and inside there are flames that you would put out with squirt bottles, or in this case our fire hoses. And I would probably fill these halfway up with water. It really doesn't take much water in a squirt bottle, but this is where you could probably, I would have, say if we're working on numbers 1 through 10, which is what is in this box, I would have a cup or a bowl with, say, 10 objects in it, and that's where they could scoop 10 Unifix cubes or 10 whatever I decide to put in there out, and they say, okay, we have 5. Let's find the number 5 on here and put out the fire. And that's where they could decide, okay, is the 9 fire bigger than 5 fire, which one's smaller, which one's greater, which one was a smaller fire, which one was like building about to come down. That is for them to decide. That was just an activity that I made that I really enjoyed doing. I also have these little cute puppets, and I have all of them except the nurse, I believe, so I'm going to have to go back and get the nurse. But this is a mailman, and these are also multicultural dolls. This is a police officer, construction worker, and firefighter, and these are multicultural, and you can just stick your hand in the back, and while you're reading the story about a mailman, you know, you can use this to talk and go along with the story. The children, I would put these in a center, and they could make their own story. I could add felt pieces. There's just many different things that you could do with puppets. Go along with stories. They make their own stories. They tell how they feel. Social emotional development. It can be used for absolutely anything. And for the block center, I thought these were super cute, but I bought these little cautions, you know, put these in the block center for them to say, okay, track ends here, or the road ends here, this is where our bad guy is, whatever the case may be. But these are super cute, and it says caution, rock star at work, and caution, superstar at work. Like, they're just super cute. Whoops. They're just super cute little stop signs, I thought. I also have these to go more so probably in the block center, or like, I haven't really decided yet, but you could really use these for multiple things. But these are just little cones that I found that were super cute, and I thought they could really go along in the block center as well, or throughout the classroom, a tabletop toy. Just, you could really do anything with these, and it says, well done, good job, you're awesome, and you're awesome. I just thought these were really cute, and they're also a sign of like, whoa, need to slow down, something's ahead, because these are actual items that they would see in real life. And I also had these little clippers, fine motor, obviously, but let's see, for my changes to environment, I said I would have a construction worker bin or a shredded post office bin with shredded mail, like whatever the case may be. If a child didn't feel comfortable sticking their hands in there, or they really need to work on fine motor, they could use these to reach in there, pick something out, see what it is, put it aside, and they could separate, you know, this is bigger, this is smaller, whatever the case may be, or this is construction worker, this is mailman, nurse, whatever I decided to put in the bin. But I bought these, I bought 2, they're super cute, and well read. And then this was just, last thing I made was just a sign, and it says, can you name the helper? And this is just like, I would use this as a whole group activity, just probably at the very beginning of the week, just to see what they knew and what they didn't know. And it basically says who and what do they do. And I said, let y'all see it for a second, but it says nurse, take care of people, firefighter, rescue people, put out fires, mailman, they deliver mail. Just like a really basic definition of what each of the community helpers that we would be learning about, what they do. Just in their own words, I would let them decide what do they do, what do you know that they do. And then at the end of the week, I may make something similar about what have we learned about them. But that is basically my community helpers thematic unit. And yeah, super excited about it. I had a really fun time doing it. I really enjoyed it. And this is definitely something I will take with me in the future. Thank you.